And just to show you how dangerous this storm can be and how strong the winds are, look over here over my shoulder. As my photographer Toni and I came out here to get video, we pulled up here and this tree fell. This is just to give you an illustration of how strong the winds are. The rain is still coming down in sheets, and as you can see, the waves are just crashing up here at the seawall. No telling when it will stop coming in like this, but one thing's for sure, at this point, the water is on the rise, and this storm is far from being over.
640 and Friends Toni Miles is out at the scene, and she's joining us this morning. Toni, what's the scene look like out there this morning?
Well, as you can see over my shoulder right now, it's pretty quiet out here, but it was a much different story yesterday afternoon after an attempted carjacking. We're told that a 61-year-old man, Harry Williams, was trying to fuel up here when he was approached by 3 teenagers. Those teenagers tried to carjack him. They were unsuccessful, but they did manage to shoot the man in the upper chest. Now, we're told that Harry Williams is at UMC this morning where he's in stable condition. Meanwhile, the hunt is on for those 3 teenagers. Police told me this morning that there were a lot of witnesses around, so they have a pretty good idea who these 3 teenage suspects are. Meanwhile, I did talk to the store owner's father as he was opening up the store. He tells me this isn't the first crime that's happened here. In fact, over the past year, I'm told that there have been at least 5 shootings, a number of carjackings and purse snatchings here. He says that he and his family are scared to even go to work, and they're hoping for more police patrols. Welcome to Action 10 News Daybreak. I'm Toni Miles. Let's check in with Emily Borchard for a look at our Thursday forecast. Take it away, Emily. Thanks, Emily. Cell phone records may help local police figure out who was really driving the truck that hit a bicyclist last year. It was in July of 2009 when Barb Savo was struck while riding her bike along Ocean Drive. The driver who hit her took off, and it was just this January that investigators located the truck. Since then, they've been trying to figure out who was driving it. Enrique Baca, the man who owns the truck, says his recently deceased father was driving. Police, however, aren't sure that's the case. All you have to do is come on out, $60 a person, $100 for a couple, and that includes 2 free drink tickets. Is it quitting time yet? I'm just kidding. But this is really just the appetizer to a bigger event that's nationwide, which will be localized here in Biloxi at the Town Green, coming up on Saturday, November 14th. As you can see, it's pretty cold and quiet here at the Capitol, but it was a much different story earlier today with lawmakers from across the state gathering here in Jackson. Among those were members of our Coast delegation. We caught up with them to see what's topping their priorities for 2014.
Senator Trent Lott will deliver the keynote address tonight at the Mississippi Marine Museum for the 2nd annual general membership meeting.
Trent Lott is a former Senate Majority Leader and Pascagoula native. News 25's Shelby Myers joins us live from Jackson County with a preview.
Most pilots do everything they can to avoid a storm.
It'll be long, look at that.
But Keesler Air Force Base's 53rd Weather Reconnaissance Squadron, better known as the Hurricane Hunters, flew straight into the eye of Hurricane Michael several times Tuesday. This was just after the first pass.
And all of that information kind of gets funneled into my system here. And I give it a check, make sure it looks valid before I send it down to the folks at the National Hurricane Center in Miami. And they take all that information and they put it in their models and use it to fine-tune their forecast to make sure that the proper people are warned and planned and the evacuations, if necessary, can take place.
It's a job Captain Michael Panasuk doesn't take lightly. Up here at the controls, he knows he and the crew are protecting those down below, including his family in Ocean Springs, Mississippi.
It's an honor to be up here doing that and collecting that kind of data. You know, it not only goes out to people we don't know on the coast in, you know, Florida and Georgia and Alabama, but it also goes, you know, it's going to be helpful for my family and my wife back home for, you know, evacuation purposes and whatnot.
We were firmly seated in the cockpit with a bird's eye view during this pass just after 8 a.m. Tuesday morning, as our C-130J cruised at 10,000 feet, traveling through the hurricane at this point at a ground speed of 214 miles an hour, with the eye wall in sight.
I'm back over to 200 for you.
And the information collected on Tuesday's flight will be relayed to the National Hurricane Center in Miami to better pinpoint Michael's intensity and track.
And every storm is different. It all has its unique characteristics. So this storm, like a lot, the strongest and worst weather is in the northeast quadrant. But you just never know what you're going to expect until you actually get into that storm. So this storm's just been extra bumpy, so to speak, in the northeast quadrant.
As our crew landed Tuesday afternoon, another prepared for takeoff and more recon.
So we're not dropping. Correct.
Reporting with the hurricane hunters in Biloxi, Toni Miles.
Studio, back to you.
Thank you.